we'll start off with a video, so we'll let that play while you guys get seated. Thank you. So today we're going to talk, the whole meeting is going to be focused on emergency situations on your bus, whether you're a driver or a para. And then we're going to talk about a lot of situations. There's a lot of crazy stuff going on out there, including all the stuff that could go wrong without all the other crazy people out there, fires, floods, all that good stuff.
What about earthquakes?
If we have an earthquake and have to worry about it on a bus, I'm moving to California to make it right. Holy mackerel. I know how to deal with them. Deb's taught me everything I know. All right. Oh, first of all, a quick thank you to May South Elementary for breakfast. That was a lot of fruit this morning, so thank you to May South Elementary. There is a card going around. Where is it at? Over here, perfect. So make sure that you sign the card. And the other one is for that you've attended today. As you guys know, or maybe you don't, hopefully you do, we have to attend 10 of these a year by law. Everybody in this room has to attend 10 a year, so this is one of your 10 that you're required to go to. So make sure you're signing off on that. And then hopefully you guys are still on the clock. Okay?
And what?
I'm sure you are.
Safety meeting? Yeah.
I forgot I had that show. My goal is to get some emotions. We want to get some reactions out of you guys. Hopefully nobody cries. Chris isn't here, so I think we'll be all right. Just kidding. I don't know what I just did, but that's what I get for bashing Chris when he's not here. Karma got me. All right, so like I said, we're going to talk about emergencies today. We're going to watch a couple videos. The goal is to get you emotionally involved because I want you to stay focused this morning. We want to hold your focus through the whole meeting. I don't want you on your cell phone just chit-chatting with your husband about date night or anything this weekend. So this is really important stuff. You guys should know most of this already. If you're new to the district, especially pay special attention. Because we probably will have things different here than maybe your previous district, or maybe you've never even done evacuations or anything like that, so. All right, what the heck? I'm telling you. Oh, I'm right, okay, we're good. All right, so calendars. Halfway there, I think we're at 20, somebody said it earlier, 27 days? 26 days. School days with kids in school, so exciting stuff. Monday, school. Mays does not have school if you do not attend Mays, and you do WSU's in session. Renwick, I think, is in session. Valley Center's in session. So if you don't haul specifically for Mays, make sure you're checking your calendars to see if you have to school on Monday. But I think it's just Mays that's out on Monday. Oh, there it goes. All right, next month. There's a school for Renwick. No school for Renwick. Lots of birthdays. Safety meeting, we actually have the 15th on a weekday for a change. So a safety meeting will be on the 15th. Seniors' last day is May 17th, so the buses, not many of you probably have seniors, they'll lighten up a little bit. But be prepared if they are on your bus, they'll probably be pretty rowdy that
So
day.
that means us old people get off on Friday?
Oh, it does not. Wrong seniors. Yes, ma'am.
Maine doesn't have school on the 5th.
Yeah, Mays don't either.
I must have missed that.
I must have missed it too.
Cinco de Mayo.
All right, we'll check it. Oh, Cinco de Mayo, that's a good call. All right, there you go. Sorry about that. Good catch. May 19th, that is our end of the year school party for us here at Transportation. If you have never attended that, it's a lot of fun. We've got a lot of really nice prizes this year. Tammy's been working her tail off with local businesses to get stuff donated to the district. We've got lots of gift cards, we've got lots of gift certificates for services, plus all the extra stuff that we would typically have. So we encourage you to attend that. It's an all-day thing. We'll come. The people that bring us gas, I can't think of it all of a sudden. Thank you. Hample provides the meal for us. They provide the meat, and then we'll do the sides here. So it's a lot of fun. You come have lunch, and then usually right after lunch, we start the drawing for all the prizes. We'll do the end of year recognitions for anybody that's done, has been here in increments of 5 years or more in increments of 5 years though. We'll do all that. We also need to find our Thumper of the Ward recipient of this year. So that goes to our driver or para of the year, somebody that's had phenomenal attendance, somebody that does their work orders, somebody that does their trip sheets right, somebody that's turning in their daily inspection sheets, somebody that's doing, well, kind of what we're supposed to be doing. So we look at everybody and kind of pick and choose where we're going to go with that. We're looking at adding a couple more recognition spots in, I think, this year. The TAC crew is looking into that. Some fun stuff to add on to that for some more additional awards. So it's a lot of fun. If you can come, we highly encourage it. We've got several $100s worth of gifts that we're handing out that day. So, last day of school for Mays is on the 24th. The 25th is our first aid and defensive driving class. Is that right, ladies? Okay. So, depending on which class you're taking, the classes are from 8 to 1 and 1 to 5, I think.
Defensive driving is first.
The sign-up sheets are up on the front desk if you are coming due for that. If you're not sure if you're coming due for that, Tammy is your go-to. She can look it up for you. Okay? You have to have it in order to start the new school year with us. Okay. We'll have another one again in the fall, but if you're due and you can make this one, it's a lot easier just to get it done and get it out of the way, and then you don't have to mess with it this fall. Questions so far?
I think Renwick is out, is it the 16th, Kim, something like that? And they only go like a half a day,
Okay.
so,
Okay.
but we can come in and help you.
Works for me.
Okay.
Driver and para of the month. So as you guys may or may not be aware, last week we had a medical emergency out in the parking lot. One of our staff members got very, very ill. And if she hadn't have been found, it could have very well ended very differently. Amy Skya was walking out to her car and walked by this person that was in their vehicle. Thought they were napping, but thank goodness for her good instincts. She says something just didn't feel right or look right, so she went back and checked on them, and the person was in the middle of a seizure. So she was able to get help, and we called 911, and then we went out and helped her get through that until the emergency services arrived. So Amy Skya is our driver of the month. She also got she got recognized at Monday night's board meeting. If any of you people like to watch that stuff, it was on there. So congratulations, Amy, we appreciate that. And then our para, she's not typically a para, but because we have so many drivers and not nearly enough paras, we did put Patty underneath our para, just so we could get some extra drivers into this. And Patty does sub for us on the para site. I think she runs, is she even in here?
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, for God's sakes. I'm looking right over your head. Oh my gosh. So, Patty, we appreciate all you do. She takes care of the vehicle, she takes care of the lot. So Patty, congratulations. For both ladies, although I know Amy won't take it. Might be for dibs, she might be taking offers. I like to put this out there. The average car weighs about 4,000 pounds, school bus 18.5. Just, I try and tell people that, you know, this driver almost hit me, I pulled around the corner and they were behind me and blah, 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 I'd be pulling out in front of you essentially. And I always say, do you realize how long it takes us to stop in one of those? Especially if it's loaded. So, it also goes the other way around. Don't pull out in front of cars. But, summer hours, summer jobs. For those of you that were at our last meeting, you know Mays, the city of Mays, the school district in Mays is not having summer school. They'll have their Big Brother, Big Sister program and their Mays Rec, but they're not doing summer school here in Mays. So we don't have nearly as many summer school positions open. So for those of you that are not high enough on the totem pole to get a position as a summer school driver, they do have a lot of stuff going on in the district that you can get involved in if you want some summer hours. They're doing painting, they paint parking lots, all the yellow that goes around our facility, all the dots out in the parking lot. They paint inside the buildings, classrooms, that sort of stuff. There's a summer cleaning crew for our school buses, although we're gonna talk a little bit more next month about you guys cleaning your own buses before you turn them in, just because if we don't get enough help like we did last year, we'll never get through them all. And those of you that did not get a clean bus over the summer, that sucks. So we're gonna talk a little bit more about that next month. But there is a lot of stuff going on over the summer if you want some extra hours. They said they need some people to go around and check filters on the AC units. I don't know what all they got available, but if you're wanting some summer hours, we do have some available. Just hop on the website and check it out. If you want to work for the summer crew here for us cleaning buses, Chris is your contact, but you still have to apply for it. I don't know what the wages are. Somebody said it's the same as your driving wages. That is not true. I don't know what they are. They have not said that yet. Let me say it that way. They may say it that way. Highly doubt it, but I don't know what those wages are yet. Okay? Questions on that? Okay. Oh, and that's where what it looks like. They'll have summer fleet maintenance, and then any of the other summer positions that you want. May 5th at the Aquatic Center. They're having an end of the year bash for the entire district. We don't typically get to go to these things because, well, we're driving and we're doing our thing over here. I think, I'm still waiting on a time from them, but it looks like it might be after morning routes this year.
We're not at school at night.
We're off. We don't have school.
Yeah, you said that. So it'll be in the morning. I think they do it, I know they're going to do it in the mornings. It's a huge deal. If you guys have never attended it, it's worth going to. This year, they're putting a ton of time and a ton of money into it. Everybody, last time I heard, everybody is getting a beach towel, and in that beach towel is a gift. They've got gift cards, they've got, I don't know what all. Several of those gifts that were donated are worth several $100s. So it's gonna be a lot of fun. They'll do the recognition. Deronda, I think, just walked out the door, is gonna do a really fun game and represent us while we're there, a minute to win it. No idea what that means, but we all nominated Deronda to do it for us. So if you want to place bets that Deronda wins. So it'll be a lot of fun. There'll be a lot of great gifts. They'll do a lot of recognition. Retirees usually get recognized there as well. So
So are people swimming or?
no. It's just held at the Aquatic Center in the theater.
Oh, okay.
So,
Will you let us know what time as it gets?
yep, I will let you know. I'll send out an email and let you know the time. And we'll post it on the doors and stuff, just like we normally do.
Yeah, I will.
School bus drivers have the most difficult student supervision tasks in the schools, with as many as 80 students ages 5 to 18 all behind you in a large vehicle rolling along at an average of 45. This is a classroom supervision situation on steroids. Would you all agree? All right, minibuses. Please make sure that, check the front end of your buses. I guess cardboard was put in the front of them, some of them over the winter to help keep the engines warmer, to help with the heating. And we're burning up AC units now because you guys are running it and there's no airflow. So, any bus actually, I don't care if you're a big bus or a little bus, check and make sure that the cardboard's gone. Okay, we wanna make sure that we're not burning that AC
Would it be
units.
noticeable? I mean, you should, okay, yeah. I know
Yep,
that.
either look through the front grills, or when you open the hood, you'll be able to see down in front of the radiator. Alright, if a student talks about death on your bus, let's just start, grandma passed away. Let's start with an easy one. Grandma passed away and they have tons of questions. What do you think as a driver or a para, what do you think that your responses should look like?
Change the subject.
Okay, maybe change the subject. Most of them aren't gonna let you do that if they're started down that path. What else? Any questions? Or any,
They got ran over by a reindeer.
Just acknowledge,
okay, Chris Jr.
acknowledge.
So, we are not counselors, although we do a lot of counseling on buses, but maybe that's something that you should bring up to their teacher or their counselor, definitely to their school. Say, hey, there was a lot of questions on the bus regarding this, I don't know what's going on. Even if they don't tell you it was somebody that they know, if they just start asking questions about death, you need to let the schools know immediately, and then you also need to contact the parents, okay? So if little Johnny says, what happens when you die, or does it hurt to die, or something like that, even if you can't get the information beyond that, or you're not comfortable getting information beyond that, you say, you know what, that's a great question, you need to probably talk to your teacher or your counselor, and definitely talk to your mom and dad, and you need to make the initial contact to reach out to those people and tell them, hey, Johnny was on the bus asking about this, I just want to let you, it's your job to let them know. And you cannot let them off of your bus if they're talking about self-harm. If they're talking about going home and hurting themselves or cutting themselves or suicide, do not drop them off at their house. You call admin, we'll come get them and we'll stay until a guardian comes and picks them. The last thing you want on your conscience is that you've dropped them off of your bus and find out the next day they shot themselves or they took their own life somehow, okay? I'm not saying that to scare you. We've had a couple of situations this year, and that's what the schools have informed us of how to deal with that. Any questions on that? Okay. Someone tries to force their way onto your bus. What do?
Slam the door.
Slam the door, call 911. Call us, okay? Radio us. You do not let them on your bus. You are the only defense for those students on your bus. Maybe if they're on one side of the bus and you can handle it, you move your children to the other side of the bus. Get them away from the side of the perpetrator that's trying to enter your bus if they seem volatile or aggressive. The big thing is you can tell them, I can't let you, this is school property and you're not allowed on it. If you want to talk to me, you come to my window. Come talk to me in my window. Parents want to talk to us all the time. And it's not aggressive. They just get on their bus. They don't even think twice about it. They're like, hey, yesterday when you wrote them up, can you just tell me what happened? You go, off. Come around to the window. Or better yet, can you call me later or let me call you later because we're in the middle of the route. But if they insist or they get on your bus and will not get off, 911. Absolutely. And then you radio in and let us know that you're having an issue. If if transporting's working and I can find you, we will be there as quick as we can. Okay? Any questions on that? Tony, anything I might have missed?
It's good, just, you guys know, don't let them on your bus no matter what. I know sometimes if you see a parent there and you already know there's gonna be a conflict coming, and you guys will come in and talk to me like, hey, this parent's pissed off because we wrote them up. I heard back from home text, they wanna talk to, they're gonna be waiting for me. If you know something like that's gonna happen, don't open the door to let the kids out because they're waiting for you to open the door so they can get on the bus. Don't open the door. You need to say, hey, hang on, and have motion that parent to come around the window. And if they don't wanna come over, then call us. Call on the phone, call on the radio, just do the best you can not to let that parent on the bus. We've seen it a couple times on video where parents do get on the bus. Sometimes it's not a fault of you guys, you open the door and all of a sudden they're there. But try your best not to let these people on the bus, because what happens also is you're freaking out kids are going home telling parents, and then we're taking the calls here that strangers are on the bus.
Okay?
The other day, sorry, the other day, Tom said Becky got on, but there were no kids on my bus, and he was coming to talk to me about the student.
Tom is an employee though.
I know
right?
he is,
Yeah.
so but if somebody saw that,
Okay.
I just want to
Gotcha.
clarify that.
Yeah, yes, sir.
Sorry, I have to ask this, but the way the world's disintegrating, what if they have a weapon?
Tony, I'm gonna put that one on you, my friend.
Because I don't think that's unrealistic anymore.
You're absolutely correct.
So if
Obviously,
they have a weapon,
911.
drive. Don't open your door. Do the best you can. If your door's open and there's no adult, yes, let your kids off. If there's an adult there, you know there's company, even if you don't know there's company, there's an adult there, hopefully your spidey senses go up, this doesn't look right, don't open the door. If they start pulling something out, if they have it in their hand, keep driving. If they start looking like they're pulling something, drive. Just go, and if it's, what are you doing? I was getting on my phone, well, I'll come back around the block. It's better to be safe than sorry. At all costs, do not let anybody on your bus, if you can help it. I know there's situations that you can, but don't let anybody on your bus, bottom line.
We're gonna talk about a code that you'll be able to radio into us that's super quick, and we'll know exactly what you're talking about here in just a minute too.
I have one more thing about
Yes,
all this
sir.
stuff. So, we had an incident yesterday, I'm not gonna mention names, but the people who know, they know. We had an incident yesterday where an employee of ours was picked up off of school property. Let's not do that anymore, especially if the office doesn't know about it. Because what happened yesterday was, we picked up an employee, which is great by the driver, he meant well, the employee meant well. You freaked out the kids on the bus, they went home, they told the parents, a stranger got on the bus, especially since kids don't know that employee. And then we take the calls here at the office, there's a stranger on the bus, and we're scrambling to, because I know that the drivers know better not to let strangers on the bus, especially adult strangers. And so we're scrambling here, trying to find video, and then when we find video, then I'm like, that's one of our employees. But the whole situation is, if they're not supposed to be on your bus from the get-go here, don't pick them up, or stop and radio and let us know, hey, Bobby's on the side of the road, can I pick him up, is it okay? Call us, radio us, so we can make sure, because remember, you got those kids on there, especially tier 2 kids, and they're naive and stuff like that, you know, they stranger danger, there's a stranger, you know, the only person that they rely on is you guys while you're driving. So when another dog gets on there, they're gonna freak out, and that's what happened yesterday.
Okay, anything else? Thank you, Tony. It is not okay to block the back door, or one of the windows on 200 and 201. They don't have a back door, but they have the emergency window. So if you're taking trips, while that bus is in motion, nothing blocks any emergency exit. I've seen coolers, I've seen backpacks, I've seen kids sitting on the floor. That is not allowed. Anything that is not in a seat in that compartmentalization zone is an object of possible projectile, especially on 200 and 201. If you put stuff up in that back window and you have to slam on your brakes, or you hit a deer and that brings you to a stop, everything in that back window is going to go flying, and whoever's in its path is going to get really hurt. So make sure you're keeping the back door clear. Whether you're on a trip or on a route, back door stays clear, and the back windows on 200 and 201. And if you have I don't know if we have any side door emergency exits, I don't think we do anymore. But they need to stay clear as well. If it's an emergency exit, there should be nothing in front of it. Yes, sir.
So I was on a trip
Uh-huh.
for the track team.
Mhm.
They had pole vaults.
Mhm.
They put them on the floor, which was blocking the exit going out the back door.
Okay.
I told them to put you know how we put brooms next to the window?
Mhm.
It's not gonna go forward and hit anybody because it's next to the window.
Right.
I had them put them up there. Was that okay?
I put them on the floor,
Really?
underneath the seats, all the way up against the wall.
You can't get them under the seats.
You can't slide them in that back door underneath the
Wheel
seat.
wells get in the way, they're too long.
Oh,
Yeah.
you're
Those
right.
poles are.
You're right. You're right. Yeah.
How about under the butt? I mean, isn't there a compartment under there?
Not
under the-
They can't
under
break
the
those
butt.
down.
Even if there is, they're side by side, aren't long enough for a pull. Yeah. No,
And
that'd
they
be a
gotta
good
have the
call.
equipment or something.
Yeah. So that'd be a good spot for
How about
those.
on top?
Can we put the kids up there too? If you're driving at night and your bus has the capability to turn on just those back, oh, sorry, Tony, go ahead.
Real quick about stuff in the aisles, this week, I saw a video, and it's Cured Maze, where someone's driving the bus, and it's normal driving, and they brake, and something about 100 pounds, an object, comes up middle aisle and hits above the windshield inside where the emergency equipment is, the bulkhead. So, well, you think nothing like that can happen? This thing, about 100 miles can fly, hit the
Doghouse.
the doghouse, straight up, and went above the windshield and smash it. So, imagine someone standing there not looking, they're facing forward or something, and it'll get you.
Yeah, and they're leaning out in the aisle. So, driving at night, if you have the ability to turn, yes, sir.
I've got a question. Why don't they show some of this stuff to the kids in school to try and help us as bus drivers to make them sit down?
So Prey Woodman is phenomenal at that. They have a crew that goes over, I think Deb, you're part of that goes over. Do any of the other schools do it?
They tried a couple times at some of the schools, but they wanted to talk, but I feel it's better to have the bus driver explain what goes on the bus and rules and regulations. I tell stories about why the aisles need to be clear, if I need to come back there.
Yeah.
The kid's coming from the back, is gonna throw up, if your legs are there, guess what? You're getting a shower.
Yeah. So we do it at Prey Woodman. I know we've tried to push it a little more into the other schools. That's a good question.
And we also practice getting out the back door, which I think, and it's amazing how fast, it's faster than going out the back.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
Sedgwick had a video that they showed like to the elementary kids and whoever else wanted to come about being safe sitters and all the, all the, kind of like that, but it was a whole video thing. I don't know if they have that.
No, not yet. Yes, ma'am. Did you have something?
I wanted to tell you that on our bus, we have a boy that brings things with sharp points, and we tell him to put it away. And the father went and called around, and he said, the boy brings a toy on the bus, is it wrong? Well, he didn't say that there was a sharp point on the toy.
Right.
And so everybody said, oh yeah, there's no. So I want you to know that we do on our bus, if there's a point, like a pirate ship, it has sharp points and it's hard plastic. We don't allow that on the bus.
For you. Yeah, good for you. Pokemon cards, that kind of stuff, that's a problem. Keep that garbage off your bus too.
Yeah, I think those are way.
But we've been pushing to that, and hopefully we can get that done next
I
year,
know
for
that
at least the
these guys
elementary.
don't have attention spans for very long, and they probably forget 2 days later.
Yeah.
But
Honestly, the state of Kansas has a program where they have a miniature school bus. I can't think of his name. It's just a little robotic bus, and it rolls around and its eyes, like, it's a great program for the kids in elementary. I used to have him all the time at my old district, and we've been trying to get him to come here. It's just getting the schools to have time to bring him in. And he talks a lot, and it's a lot easier on the kids because it's a toy talking. Does that make sense? So we're trying to get that to work too. Yes, ma'am. Sorry? Oh, the scissors, they're in my office. So she had, somebody brought scissors on the bus. So you wouldn't think twice about scissors being an issue because it even had a cap and everything. But when you took that sucker off, it was like shearing scissors. The point, it would have sliced through a seat in a heartbeat. They were super sharp. Yeah, so just be super careful about that. You can have those back too, by the way. I forgot to bring them in. So, any other?
What is it about Pokemon cards?
Bless your heart, you've never had to deal with that.
They
Start fights. Because I've traded with Johnny, and Johnny's dad found out I traded, and now we want our cards back, and it just starts fights. So Pokemon cards, baseball cards, just
Move
don't even
around
let
the
them
bus
do
trying
that
to
stuff.
trade too.
and throw them
They pick them up, put them on the floor.
Emergency equipment located on every vehicle. What do we have on there?
Fire.
Fire extinguisher,
triangle,
triangles,
First aid kit,
first aid,
body fluid.
body fluid,
seatbelt cutters.
seatbelt cutters,
Tire thumper.
tire thumper. Yeah. Piece of equipment. If it was a bad guy, I suppose that'd be a good piece of emergency equipment. So, do you guys think about this in your own vehicles? Do you know where all of your equipment is at? When was the last time you opened your first aid or your bodily fluid kits? Are they fully stocked? If you turn a corner and they fall out and hit that little, that little rail that the seats sit on, it's about that wide, it's on the side of the bus, I've had it happen. I turned a corner, they were horsing around, he fell out of his seat, hit his head up, split it wide open, head wounds, bleed like crazy. We opened up the first aid kit, it was a sub bus, nothing in it, it was totally empty. Totally empty. Middle of the summer, I didn't have a jacket to throw on it, it was crazy. We ended up tearing his sleeves off of his shirt and wrapping it. It was a mess. So make sure that you're checking that stuff. That should be part of your pre-trip as well. You need to make sure your gear is all there.
Do we have a stock of Band-Aids here?
We do. Tammy can get you some. You know where they're at, right?
Yeah, we need some.
We will get you some if you need Band-Aids.
Yes.
Deb, do you have Band-Aids? Do you have access to them? Okay. Okay, we have some. Let us
I
know.
think they're in
We-
the box in here.
Okay.
Yeah.
Every driver in here needs to go around to all the new buses and go through how they work, where things are on it, because it's different, believe me. As a sub driver, you find out all these new things, and between us, we talk about where things are, but you're gonna get a sub bus one of these days, and you're not gonna know where that stuff is.
Yeah.
How you even start it.
The new IC buses still have student alarms on them, so do you know how to turn those
And they're
off?
easy to work, by the way.
They are.
They do good.
Yeah, so.
And to get your emergency brake off, you gotta make sure that it's in gear, right? Or-
But that's something that we didn't know, so, yes, yes.
So, the first aid kit, the bottom is fluid kit sits in front of it, and then the first aid kit is in that holder that's built into the curtain up above the ear. I cannot get that out on my buses in the shop or the sub bus that I'm in. I had a kid that needed a Band-Aid, and I have some in my backpack anyway, so I just grabbed those out. I can't get it out.
Okay.
Can they loosen it?
Yep, we can help you out with that, yeah.
Prescription bottles work very good for putting Band-Aids in,
Oh, yeah,
or so you don't have to get the first aid kit out and stuff. They work very good for that.
yeah.
Cross out your personal information.
Anything else? You guys all know where your safety equipment's at? If you're not, I expect this afternoon you're Easter egg hunting for all of it and finding out where it's at, okay? Just so you know, I have at least 2 buses, maybe 3, that I've subbed in, and I was doing the pre-trip and opened certain departments or compartments or doors or windows or whatever, won't even say where I was at, and I found this little sticky or a note or something. It said, if you return this to you or somebody,
Trainer?
yeah, to return it to a trainer, you get a prize. 3 buses I was on. And we're talking, one of them I did it in December and I did it again a month ago and it was still there. So pre-trips are not getting done or they're not getting done correctly. So if you aren't sure how to do a pre-trip, please get with one of our trainers. There's several prizes sitting out there in buses ready to be claimed. Nobody's ever claimed them. So some of you guys aren't doing your pre-trips. That needs to change. Okay?
Giving some away.
You giving a couple away? Good. I can name you 2 people that you haven't. We're going to send out a survey soon on feedback of what improvements you'd like to see for next year. I had a couple people suggest that. Was that yesterday at the meeting for South? Yeah. I don't remember where that was at. Yeah. So that if you guys have ideas what we can do to help you, understanding I have no control over your wages. We are trying like heck to get those raised all the time. You can put that on there, but that's out of our hands. Is there anything that we can do as a district? If you put that on there, I will forward them on to Darren and Dr. Greer. But if there's stuff that you can think of that you would like to see us do more of or change or look at maybe doing this instead of that, let us know, because we are not perfect. We do the very best we can. None of us, there is no such thing as how to run a transportation department college out there. So we have all been where you guys are now, and we've grown into these positions, and we've just brought that knowledge and then knowledge from neighboring districts with us. There's nothing out there that teaches us how to do what we do. So understand there's always room for improvement in every department across the state, across the country. It's insane that there's no director college out there to teach you all the nuts and bolts that we need to learn. Typically, we don't even know we're doing anything wrong until the state steps in and goes, did you know? I do now. Hopefully legally wise, I think we're fine. But as far as it goes to you guys, if there's anything you have that you would like to see us do differently or add on or whatever, just let us know. We'll send that out in the next couple of weeks. You are required by law to walk through your bus after every route to check for students. Before you do a thorough walk, be sure you do a thorough walk. Checking every seat and of every seat's floors. So if you Just take a second and think to yourself, look around the room. I bet you can think of at least a half a dozen people in here that you would say they would never, ever, ever miss a student. There's no way that kid would ever get lost on that bus. I know they walk their bus. I know they do a diligent job, and you are absolutely correct. There are a dozen of you guys that I would never in my entire life question whether or not you're doing what you're supposed to be doing. It can happen. It happens to the best of us, and it's unintentional, but I'm going to show you a video of something that did happen, and I want you guys to see if you can figure this out. So this is one of our buses, and you'll notice this young man right here in the back, he's sleeping. And I don't want any negativity said. I don't want anybody bashing anybody. You'll see the driver. They've agreed for us to show this, and it's for a learning opportunity for the rest of you. And if I hear anything negative said to that person, you and I are going to have words, because it was a sheer accident. Okay? It was an unfortunate accident, but thankfully nothing happened bad. So we're at, I think, Prairie Woodman, Vermillion, over in that area. You can see the other buses parked next to you.
So are they dropping off at school?
Yep, this is unloading.
And
All
is
the
that
kids
the
just got
last-
off the bus.
Is that the last seat?
Yep, very back seat.
And he blends right in with
I
it.
can't
He
figure
does
out how
blend,
he-
you are absolutely correct.
How is he even laying?
He's on the floor, he's got his head up on the seat.
On the seat, okay.
He's in black, so he's hard to see.
Yeah.
And I want to say right now, thank you to Sarah for allowing us to see this video.
Oh,
You see what she did?
yeah.
She walked the bus just like she's supposed to,
Just
and she missed it.
Yeah.
Now, how many of you have goosebumps?
She's looking only on one.
That's right. She missed him by this. If she'd have just been half a step further, she'd have caught him out of the peripheral. But
He raised his head up.
he did. He raised his head up. Yep.
So easy to miss.
Yeah, look, she's.
Do you see how it happened?
Yeah.
Pussy's.
Could it happen to any of us? Absolutely could happen to any of us. So the video goes on, everybody leaves, she gets back to the bus barns. She stops down at the bottom of her, she's doing something, I don't know what it is, we can't see it, maybe texting somebody or something, she's getting off the bus, it doesn't matter. She's already walked the bus. As she's getting off, you can see the other buses pulling in beside her. And I believe Paul, where you at, my friend?
He just walked out.
Of course he did. Paul's the gentleman that parks on her right. He pulled in, and this kid, here, when they get back to the bus barn, the second she steps off that bus, his head pops up, and he's looking, and he goes, and he looks down the aisle, he's like, holy crap, where'd everybody go? And then he walks to the front of the bus, and he's standing up at the front when Paul pulls in. And you see Paul pull in, and he's doing this, and he looks over, and he goes, and you see, and so Paul found him immediately. He was on the bus less than 30 seconds. But this is how easy it was to miss him. You and I heard several, he's in dark clothes, he was on the floor. Super, super easy to miss. But this is why it's extremely important. You check every seat on every floor, under every seat.
Oh my gosh. What's the matter with you? That's kind of bad. No, it's very wrong.
That's a trick.
I'll call you later.
Vern shut his off.
I'm shutting.
All right.
Break time.
I'm sure you guys have all seen this video by now. And if foul language bothers you, I apologize because this lady's full of it.
Oh, this one.
Which one is it?
I'm in the meetings.
Come on.
Don't you hang up on me, she said.
Do know.
Turn the volume up.
She looks like she's yelling at a kid.
Is that the driver saying that?
Yes.
Yeah.
So
Well, listen.
So without a raise of hands, have a few of you thought about doing this? I think we all have.
Then again, she probably has been doing bus driver for
30 plus years, yeah.
How much more do you think anybody can drink with paper? Shut your mouth. I
hate to say it, but probably resemble a little bit of that.
So, I mean, you can kind of see where the video goes. This gal's been driving for, I think, well over 30 years at a district down south. Never had any issues, never had any complaints against her. She's been having problems with this group of kids, two or three kids on this bus. They sprayed perfume. She's allergic to perfume. You guys have probably heard that here this year even. And they knew it and they sprayed it anyway. They're just harassing this poor lady for the last school year. They've just been on and on and on her. And she lost it. She had had enough and she lost her bejeebies. It hit Facebook. Immediately it's got over 2 million views on it. The district offered to give her paid leave while they investigated it. And she said, don't even bother, I just quit, I'm done. I can't do it anymore. While I don't encourage anybody to do this, please don't. When they set this out, I expected the reviews, the comments on that to be vicious. Think of our Maze 1 forum. That's what I expected. And the reply and the response back to her was, good for you, I'm tired of my kids doing that. And I'm like, so much positivity, helping her. So this district has taken care of those kids. Some guy in Florida, I think, started a GoFundMe page to help her get through till retirement. Please don't do this. I'm not encouraging it. I will not start a GoFundMe for you. But she raised over $100,000 on it or something. They're making T-shirts now that say, what does it say? Yeah, I'll put my foot so far up your ass it'll dangle out your nose. Picture of a bus with a foot hanging out one side. But the eye-opener, new uniform. I think it's been a huge eye-opener across the states, showing what you guys put up with every single day when you've got that handful of, and we all have them, those 2 or 3 kids. If you could get them off your bus would be the best place on the planet. And she just had enough. So what are some things that she could have done differently? Change her wording, obviously. Yep.
His or her feelings real bad today.
Yeah, I thought
They did an interview and she was in tears. She was so sorry she did it. She was having an allergic reaction. She could feel it starting and she was just tired of it. She says, I've been fighting this over and over and over again daily. And she said, I was done. I lost it. She's never done anything like that before. And she cried. She was super sorry, but it was too late.
Scents are an issue right now, Axe and perfume, what rights do we have to take it, search it, find it? What rights do we have?
You can take it, absolutely, they're not allowed to spray that stuff on your buses. So if you know who did it, or you can find out who did it, you have every right to take it away from them. Every right, yes.
My brother, was a police officer, said you can actually stop your bus, call 911, and evacuate if you have to. As an emergency. If you're in emergency, we had one of our employees just recently, besides me, because it happened to me, not as drastically, but you can do it because it's an emergency.
Yep.
And then call you guys.
Yep.
So you can.
Another thing, let us know what's going on. Call 911. Definitely let us know what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
We can send somebody to you to help, especially if you're talking about evacuating a bus. Obviously, that needs to be a last resort, but if you can't breathe, get the heck off. Okay? Yes, ma'am.
Another option is take them back to school.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. If you know who it is, take their butts back to school. Let us know and tell us why, so that when the parents call and they're livid because their kid's back there texting and letting them know, they're taking me back to school, we know why. Okay? Tony does a phenomenal job of backing you guys up when you guys do stuff.
Question right on that. So the other day, somebody wasn't able to take them back to school. I heard the bus board say, bring them. So maybe we can bring, if we can't take them back to school, we can bring them here.
That's our last option, is you have to bring them here.
Right.
I mean, if the school can't, I didn't mean it like that. Yes. been here till 6:30 at night waiting for a parent to show up. So, last option, but if you can't get hold of the school, by all means, they come to us and we'll take care of them. Anything else? No? Okay. Kathy? Sorry.
I heard on the radio they were
Airdropping.
Airdropping.
their phone. We don't have that issue, but when I drove 219, I did have that issue.
So she's asking phones, what's the rules on the phones?
Like, can you take them away?
You can take their phones away. They are not allowed to take video or photos of anybody on your bus. Your phones should not be out doing that at all. Okay, so no.
Computers, right?
Sorry?
Computers. Some of the
Right,
kids
no
have-
electronics, no photos of any sort on your vehicle. There should be no music out loud on your bus. If they want to listen to music, I think most of you don't mind as long as they got a headset. So if they are being disruptive with their phones, take it away from them. You have every right to do it. If they will not give it up, you march their butt back to the school and tell them, hey, this is what we had. Yes, sir.
How much, say we pick up a middle schooler and they're doing this over at the intermediate, can we have them removed from the bus over there, or do we have to take them back to the middle school?
Tony, I know you've had that situation a couple times.
Yeah, we want you guys to take them back to the school they originated from. If it's a dire emergency that you just can't take them all the way back there, if we're available here, we'll come get them in a van and take them back to that school. But if you can get them back to that school where they started, that's the best thing to do. Another thing on dropping off kids, when you go back to school, absolutely, if they're paying you, you know what, drop them back at the school. All I ask is if we're dropping kids off at schools, get with me so we can write them off for that, because we're dropping them off and that's not really a big consequence for that kid. So if they're a disruption and we're dropping them off, let's write them up so we can get them off the bus if they keep being a disruption.
Okay. As far as the airdrop goes, there's not any way for us to really track that. The buses don't have Wi-Fi, they're doing it, and there's no way to track it, Chris says, to tell who's sending it out. It's just from an IP address, I think. I'm not guru on that stuff. Typically, kids will say, I'm getting porno on my phone, or whatever. That's how we've heard it.
Other kids will know who it's from.
Yes.
It'll say.
If they have them on their friends list though, right? Because if it's a stranger, no.
No, so you can send it from anyone.
Ah.
Yeah, you can have it set to either anyone or contacts only. And depending on how the kid has their name and their phone, it will show their name. So I had one come from your bus, but I know kid's mom, so I handled that one. But his came across with his name on it, dummy. So I handled it. But I've had other ones come through, and I've told all my kids on the bus, change your eardrops if you have them to your contacts only, so we don't have this issue on our bus.
Is that just an iPhone thing?
Yes, and it's via Bluetooth, so it has nothing even to do with Wi-Fi.
There you go.
Yeah.
I have a Samsung, so. Okay. Anything else?
How do kids get into and all want to explode with it, like?
On their phones and stuff? Yep, you can nip that in the bud too. Because it's disrupting your bus. Yep, they can have to stop.
I was on, his bus yesterday,
My guy left.
and, usually you can't see what's going on underneath the seats. I saw a boy get out of his seat and crawl under the seat in front of him. Should we write him up for that?
Absolutely, yes. Yep, 100%.
And this was just before we left Vermillion.
Yep, no reason whatsoever there on the floor.
So I have a question.
No, wouldn't. Meaning
Your kid's involved?
Wow.
No, it doesn't.
Okay.
Caesar's child, no, I'm just kidding. While driving a bus, if you see another bus with kids of any age standing on the bus, I mean, just
Jumping seat to seat.
not in their seats, yeah, jumping seat to seat, walking down the aisle, yeah, doing all kind. What as we as not that bus driver should we do?
Tony?
If it's a dire emergency, get on the radio and let that driver know. If it's not a massive emergency,
They're not hanging out the
don't
window.
embarrass the drivers. Because what you're doing is you're telling, and you're trying to be nice and good, and I get it. But think of that other driver. Think if it was done to you. Hey, you got these kids and they're jumping around the back. Find, if you know the bus number, get with that driver afterward. The driver, if he's not seeing it or he's not doing anything about it after you talk to him, let us know, and we'll pull the driver and talk to him. But guys, please don't embarrass each other on the radio. It's just,
We're not the only ones.
it's not worth doing.
Yep.
Then you're gonna be pissed off at each other here, and it's not worth it.
Exactly. And here's the situation, I've heard it on one bus, saw issues happening on the second bus next to them. There were kids going over seats, they were horsing around in the back. The driver was trying to handle it at that point when they got hollered at across the radio. Hey, you got kids? And he's like, oh no, I'm trying. New driver trying to figure out how to make things work. So yeah, just don't be nasty to others. So I wouldn't call anybody out unless they're hanging out the window and in a dangerous situation. And on top of maybe saying something that, hey, did you know that this was happening? Let us know as well, because we can pull video and say, okay, maybe we can pull them in and say, hey, Maggie, maybe next time you could do this, or move these two kids, because we noticed on the route, maybe while you weren't looking, these two were doing this and they think they're your problems, so maybe if we let us help you, because we have all the video on hand, we can see things that you guys can't see. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that is.
Or you can throw me on there for a day and they won't move around.
Kelly?
I follow a bus or two and kids jumping seat to seat and playing around. It's the back door. Yeah. Can we do something? Yes.
Yes, that's an emergency situation.
I don't want to be that.
Yep, so she said if they're horsing around the back and they're against that back door, we don't want that falling open and losing a kid, so that is an emergency situation. Yes, sir.
Are the new cameras that they're installing, have you had a chance to find out if they're any better than our old cameras?
So far, what Tony has seen, they have been 100% online. That's the best part we can see of it so far, is that there's a lot of times, so several times you guys have called in and said, hey, can you look at my camera seat 5 and see if they've got this or that and the other. We pull your cameras up and we got nothing. So the last thing I'm gonna do is come across and go, Dewey, you got no cameras working on your bus? So that your first 10 rows go, yes! We're not gonna do that. So, yeah, so far, Tony, correct me if I'm wrong. Oh gosh, yes, Tony.
So the only camera that I have access to, the way we're supposed to have access to it, where I can say, I wonder what's going on 2133. I can click on it and see what's going on. That's the only bus right now that I can do that for. Just so you guys know what's going on behind the scenes is, we got a new company, REI, they're out of Omaha, Nebraska. They've had people here, they're installing the systems as they come in. We got 5 last week, and they've been installing those systems as we go. They have not given us access to that yet because of whatever needs to be paid or whatever, so I can get access to that stuff. But what I've learned in trying to figure this thing out without waiting for them is, if you push the panic button on your bus, on the new buses, I can get about 4 to 5 minutes of video. So if something's going on your bus, push the panic button and it'll give me 4 or 5 minutes of video. I can't just randomly go on, but you guys probably like that. I can't just randomly go on and see what's going on in your bus. But if you push that, I can get some video feedback until they get the system up and running.
And that panic button is a silver button that's got a green light around it.
Good to know. I thought it was red, so that's good to know.
It's silver. And it's green.
Okay.
Where's that located?
So far, we're only installing those on our brand new buses that have no cameras. Because we don't want to we got enough problems with buses going down. We need to make sure you guys keep yours up and running as long as possible until summer gets here. So right now, it's just the brand new buses that have come in that have no cameras on them. Those are the ones they're working on right now. So, that's where we're at right now.
Eventually all gonna be changed?
Yes, this summer they'll all get moved over to the new REI system.
And guys, just so you know, the transport, the old system we have, camera in the front, camera in the back, camera at the door, This one has cameras in the seats,
Yeah.
so we can see every seat. So if you're sitting there and some kids, they're sitting watching porn at seat number 16, we'll be able to see him on his phone, so.
I can see down in every seat now.
There should be a lot of.
Depends on what their feet are doing, but yeah. essentially. Anything else? All right, moving on. All right, let's talk about the roundabouts over by Mace South. This applies to all around. This applies to every corner you come up to. Bus, vehicle 1 and vehicle 2. Who has the right of way? Two. Should you pull out, and should vehicle 1 pull out in this situation? Absolutely not. Okay, you know where I'm gonna go next. Vehicle 3 and 4, who has the right of way? 3, because he's already in the roundabout. Now, I've had drivers argue with me, those are our roundabouts, those are our schools. We have the right of way, is that correct? No. Absolutely not. If this bus pulls out in front of that car and that car T-bones him, or hits him at an angle, who's at fault? The bus driver. You are absolutely right. Are you protected because we're on school grounds? No. You are not. Don't do that. You have to give, now if this car has stopped and let this guy go through, should this one just keep following? No, you still have to yield at that roundabout. You cannot make it a freight train going through there.
There are yield signs at each entry too.
There is, absolutely is. But the car that's in the roundabout has the right of way. Don't assume that just because I let Richard out that I'm going to stop and let Kim out who's behind Richard. I may just be nice and let Richard through and then I'll take my turn. And if Kim follows him right behind on his bumper and I hit her, it's Kim's fault. And you're buying me a new truck. It's got to be a Ford. All right. Questions on that? Yes.
Well, I had a perfect example. This morning, I went to the roundabout, and I was going to stop and yield. The person on the left that was already in the roundabout, but I saw her. She said she stopped and waved me on, so I went ahead because I was following the rest of the buses.
Yeah.
That's a perfect example.
And that's
of where we
perfect.
can do it.
But if I'm behind you, I'm going to stop and make her wave me on too if she wants to do it. You cannot freight train through there. It is against the law. Okay, any questions?
Eye-to-eye contact helps a lot too. You can see the
Unfortunately, that works both ways too.
You are absolutely correct.
Because I've been at the roundabout and they're coming out of Mace South and there'll be 5 or 6 of them that just because they want to get in front of the buses.
Yep, they will cut you off. But if you hit them, it's on them.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. If only we could do this with them too. All right. I don't think you guys realize how much we appreciate you. If you go to other districts, so you've come from another district, Richard came from another district, well, from another, whatever. And who else came to us from another district? She's come to us from, so Amy's come to us, I didn't know that. Where'd you come from? Goddard. Well, bless your heart. That's right, you guys came from us. No. So, at your other districts, and I don't want you to sugarcoat it, would you say that we do a lot to do appreciation for our staff here?
Yes.
Okay? So I know a lot of people go, oh my gosh, you guys don't do anything for us. If you would talk to these other districts that are around us, we do a ton for you guys. There is a ton of you to do stuff for, and I don't think you guys realize how much it costs to do breakfasts, to do, my gosh, my old district, we had Bus Driver Appreciation Week. I had 9 drivers at my old district. I was given $50 a year to do 9 drivers for a whole week. That's what my budget was. So we don't even have, I hate to say we don't have a budget, I have a much larger budget. We can buy you $80 jackets like we did this year, and we can do something smaller every other day of that week. So I want you guys to know how much we truly do appreciate you, and we are always asking, can we do this for the drivers? Can we do that for the drivers? And not very often are we told no. So, other than on the pay raises and
And
stuff.
I have to tell you, thank you. This district has been so kind. Just the fact that you say we appreciate you means so much to us. 'Cause we never heard that at
I
all.
think folks that have been raised in Mays, we might be a little spoiled because this is all you've never known. And like kids that have never been in another family, well, it's, I don't know. Anyways, I'm not going to go any further. I just want you guys to know that
Having this free coffee is a big deal.
we truly appreciate you guys.
Also the hot chocolate.
There you go.
It is a big deal.
What did I do? Okay, that's not it. So this was just a nice little video, it kind of told you guys how much we appreciate you, but they can't beat what I just said, so we're gonna go on. Oh my gosh. I'm so sorry, I don't know what I did. I don't know that anybody can help me.
Lord knows what you'll see, but
Yeah, it is what
I
it
like pushing buttons.